All right, fam. Hey, it's your girl Anaya A, and I am back. If you know anything about me, you'll know that I literally do not post where I am because of so many different experiences in my life that I'm not going to get into right now. But just know that it's been a very long day, but a beautiful day, fam. A very beautiful day. And as I'm about to shut it down and take a nap, I had to post this message because as somebody who has been in many different spaces in my life, I've had many ups, many downs. I've been in predicaments that are very questionable to some. But then if you are a child of God, or if you know who God is, and if you know that there is nothing that surprises God, then you'll understand that some of the predicaments that I found myself in, God already knew. God already knew when I was getting in these predicaments. God already knew when I was getting out of these predicaments. God already knows what you're into right now. And God knows the expiration date of when you're getting out. That's if you trust God. This is a whole message within itself. I didn't even anticipate on going into that deepness. But since we're there, I will say this. So over 10 years ago, God, almost 20 years ago or so. Oh my God. Like sometimes it even freaks me out how old I am. I promise you. But almost 20 years ago or so, I just, stopped like being a club head as far as, rocking the mic as the hip hop Empress Anaya A after somebody tried to kill me in my club in Auburn Avenue in Atlanta, the Black Lion Cafe. And I was on this road of spirituality, of just trying to find out who God was. Unbeknownst to me, being a hip hopper, being a hip hop empress, being somebody that could spit lyrics and do all these different tricks and do splits and, do cartwheels and do all these things that these men loved and wanted to see more of, I had no idea what the hip hop industry was really made of until somebody put me on a flyer, had me hosting nights at the Black Lion Cafe on Auburn Avenue, had me like in front of all these like thugs and, wild, musicians and stuff. And it was great because on Wednesday nights, I feel like I was a hip hop empress, rocking the mics, leading the way for a lot of our hip hop heads, a lot of our up and coming celebrities in the hip hop industry, etc. Then on Saturdays, I was modeling for Magic Johnson. And I was able to get the people from like the Magic Johnson community to come and visit me at my club on Wednesdays on Auburn Avenue, where I was the hip hop empress with all my friends and associates and rappers and strippers on the poles that would come in and hang out because we would go and visit them at the strip club. So this message is not the ordinary message because, again, God knows everything we're doing now and God knows everything we're about to do. And the reason I'm posting this message this afternoon after I've had a really long day at church primarily is because of this. When I was in the hip hop scene, when I was doing my thing and people would always come for my throat, like they didn't know where I came from. They didn't know, how I got to the position I got to so fast and things like that. Of course, men try to sleep with me all the time. Women were, trying to, fight me and thinking I was with their men and all this kind of stuff would happen all the time. And I'm like, I didn't even sign up for none of this. I am not one of these people that y'all think. It's just something that ended up happening unbeknownst to myself. And again, going back, when I started on the spiritual journey, it was because of all the weird hardships and all the stress and all of the madness that was happening. People trying to kill me in my own club, which today, the Black Lion Cafe, if you guys are familiar, has like literally was burnt down. Like after all of that, after we put shows together, after we did the videography, after we had like the hottest thing going on and we had all these major plans, it was myself, DJ Fire, it was World, it was Pache, it was, all these people. There's so many people I can't even name now. It's almost 20 years ago. But we had something really big happening in the ATL. But again, people's jealousy, their envy, their rudeness, their terrible behavior, all these different things, sabotaging your girl Anaya A for what? For what? So I walked away from that because I walk away from everything that stresses me out, obviously. When I got on my spiritual journey to go back to God, because I was always saved, even in the clubs and stuff like that. I was always a Christian woman. It's just sometimes you go into certain arenas and literally God allows you to, because he again knows while you're there, he knows your expiration date of when you're coming out. He knows all the things in between, because he is God and God himself. He is the Alpha, the Omega, the beginning and the end. So while sometimes people think that they're going through something and God doesn't know, or God is not listening and God is not watching, he is everywhere. He knows us. And today, as I was leaving church, I spent the entire day at church. And it's not just going to church. It's going to the King Center. It's going to the place that I find the most peace. It's going to sit with Dr. King and his wife, Coretta Scott King, that are literally placed on water at the King Center. A lot of you people don't even know about this, because a lot of you people would rather go clubbing and shaking your butts and stuff like that instead of going to church or going to visit a real sanctified place like the King Center. That you will learn history, that you'll grow, that you'll learn why Dr. King did what he did, what his family fought for, and things of that nature. And where am I going with this? You're probably wondering, Anaya, why are you telling us about your past? Why are you telling us about your day today? Why you don't just get to the point? The point is this. Years ago, when I met, because you guys are going to see my picture with a poster of Pastor Dr. Raphael Gamiel Warnock. Such a strange name, right? But such a beautiful name. You're going to see my picture with him in just a few, and you'll notice that I've never taken a physical picture with this man of God. He's been my pastor for almost, 2 decades now. When I first met Pastor Raphael Warnock, who is now Senator Warnock, it was in one of my most broken seasons. And I want somebody to share this message with this man, because I am so proud of the man that this person is today. And when I first met him and I saw that this young man was literally a pastor of one of the most historic entities, one of the most historical places on the planet, one of the most educational places on the planet, I just would sit there in awe of the pastor that literally was leading thousands of people. He was so young, fam. Pastor Raphael Warnock was so young when he came from New York, and he was leading all of these people out of depression, despair, deprivation, out of hunger, out of, their trials, their tribulations. Hell, he led me out of some trying times, because we would have Bible study together. And Pastor Raphael was such an honest and humble man of God that whatever he did it with honor. Whatever he did, he stood for the people. He stood for himself. He had respect for the least of these to the greatest of these. These are the people I respect, fam. Leaders that lead with honesty, with grace, with compassion, with love, with dignity. I never could take a picture standing next to this man of God, because I always felt unworthy. I always looked at him with so much reverence, with so much respect, with so much dignity, that I always felt so little beside him. Not just because he's over 6 feet tall, but it's his stature and the way that he works for God. And family, today, as I was at the King Center after leaving church, and I brought my little niecey Pooh with me, and I've brought many people to the King Center, and I've let my people walk up and down as I would sit aside to watch their expressions, watch the tears flow from their eyes, the same way that it does every time I'm there. And I know that some people may have all these thoughts about me. Recently, somebody said to me, Anaya, you can't change the world. You can't save every woman. You're not the leader of every single woman. And I explained to them and I expressed to them that I already knew that. But if we could just help one, if we could just bring one to God, if we could just talk to the people and show them mercy and love in such a way that when they depart from us, they'll understand that the mission is greater than what we see. The future depends on us now. So going back full circle as I close and as I reverence God in such a way, because today I had so much peace in my heart that yes, I have stumbled and I have fallen and I have had many obstacles along my path. But whoever is watching today, understand that God knows where you are. God knows where you're going to be tomorrow. God knew where you were last night. God knows where you're going to be a month from now. God knows where you're going to be a year from now. He says, greater is he that's in us than he that's in the world. If you have fallen short of the glory of God, God is calling you back. He's saying, wipe yourself off, get back up, move your body again, because there is something greater coming. Because today is not the last day for you. You have a future in him. He has provided so much for his children. I didn't even mean to go into all of this right now. I was going to share a message of not being able to take a picture with the man of God because I always felt so small. But God is saying that I'm even more. I'm even more. If I'm even more with all the things that I've done in my life, all the mistakes, all the people I've hurt, all the times I've hurt myself, unbeknownst to my own self, fam, then who am I to say that I'm not worthy enough? I'm not doing enough. I am not enough. God is saying I'm enough today. As I walked up and down Auburn, and as I took the trolley up and down today, and as I took pictures next to the Rose Garden, and finally feeling like myself again, and finally understanding that I did have shortcomings, but God has cleaned me up. And though my pastor was not here today, he's in London, England, I want this message to get out to him, to remind him that all those times that we sat together, that we spoke, that he would remember every detail about my life whenever we would see each other again. I could never stand next to him and take a picture because I was just like broken for so long. But today is the day that the Lord has made. And family, understand that wherever you are today, you have a second chance. He has given us weapons of warfare. He has given us the tools that we need. Ephesians 6:10-20, which is some of my favorite scripture ever. He talks about putting the armor of God on you, fam. Put on the helmet. Put on that breastplate of righteousness. Put on the shoes of peace. Put on that sword so that you can fight the enemy and every single attack that's coming your way. Because guess what? From the moment we wake up to the moment we go to sleep, it's war. And you guys may not understand, for those that have never heard this type of verbiage before, but trust God enough to say, even though things look scary right now in your life, go back to God. Go to God if you've never been to God. Get to somebody's church. If you're in the ATL, go to Ebenezer Baptist Church. Speak to the pastors there. Speak to the leaderships there. Go to, Butler Street CME. Go to somebody's Ephesus and speak to somebody and let them know that you're broken, but you know you deserve to be healed. There's too much bad things happening in this world, fam. There's so much wrong, but there are people of God everywhere presently that are saying, come, talk to me. I'm not even perfect. You may look at me like I'm perfect, but I'm not perfect. I was once lost, but now I'm found. I was once blind, but now I see. Family, it's not over. And as I'm about to shut it down, I'm just letting you guys know that today was the first time in like 2 decades that I stood next to a picture of my pastor and took the picture, because I looked at him for so long and was just like, how do you look at me knowing certain things and not judge me? How is it that you're in such a powerful place? And this is back before he even became senator, fam. This is when he was just pastor, doctor. How can you look at me and not judge me? How can you know my pain and not laugh at me when so many do these things to others? And today I was reminded that we have a second chance. that even though I could never take a physical picture with this man of God because I didn't feel whole enough, I didn't feel free enough, I didn't even feel strong enough to stand next to somebody with such a clean spirit, with such a clean slate, with such a clean disposition, God reminded me today that he has wiped away my sins and he has created in me a new heart to not only serve him, but whenever the haters say anything about me anymore, it's like, you don't even know what I've been through. You don't know how many battles I fought to even be the person I am today. So judge me. Judge me if you want to. But I know a man. I know a man, a physical man, who's never judged me, who's never hurt me, who has only spoken great things. And I'm not just talking about the pastor, one of the greatest leaders I've ever met in my life, but I'm also referring to Jesus Christ. I didn't even mean to go into this today, but I'm going to post it. And I'm also going to post my picture standing next to the man of God. And yes, he is not perfect, but God said he's perfect. And like God says, we are perfect in his image. So for those that are out there that want to hurt other people, that want to laugh at people, that want to mock people, you don't know what some of us go through on a daily basis. You don't know what we've come through. You don't know where we've been. And you know what? You don't know how hard we have to fight to stay peaceful every single day. So for all of you that may watch, and for all of you that are going through that struggle, stay focused on God. Read your word. Ephesians 6:10 through 20. Psalms 23. Psalms 91. Psalms 100. Proverbs 31. Those are 5 right there for you to start with. Be blessed, fam. Love you a lot. Love you, Pastor. Pastor Raphael Gemalel Warnock, Dr. Senator, and the rest of the Ebenezer family that's in London, England right now.